Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Dylan from TheBottomLineView, giving you guys another editorial on my complete NFL predictions. This is going through the whole playoffs and saying what team I think is going to win based on statistics, based on good gameplay, regular season, all that stuff. This is all kind of up into interpretation after the wild card rounds because we're not 100% sure, but it's basically the higher seed plays New England, lower seed plays Denver. So we're gonna go that way. We're gonna go, that kind of thing. So we're gonna go through and we're gonna talk about my complete NFL predictions for the playoffs. So first off, in the AFC, we're gonna go Pittsburgh versus Cincinnati. Cincinnati's a 3 seed. Pittsburgh is a 6 seed. They barely got on to the playoff position today after a win against who was it? Cleveland, and Cincinnati goes to the number 3 seed. Pittsburgh has got a lot of really good talent. You see here Ben Roethlisberger, DeAngelo Williams, Antonio Brown, been leading that team, especially Antonio Brown, one of the most talented receivers in the game today. Cincinnati, they might have Andy Dalton back, but they might have A.J. McCarron, depending on Andy Dalton's comfortability coming into the game. They have Jeremy Hill and A.J. Green. At the end of the day, I just trust Pittsburgh a little bit more because Pittsburgh, they've got all their talents. They got their core guys. DeAngelo Williams has been a breakout star for them. And, come on, Antonio Brown, one of the best receivers in the game, like I said. It's just going to be too easy for them. I'm saying Pittsburgh's moving on against Denver, which means we're going to go to the other side. Kansas City versus Houston. Kansas City, after going 1-5, I thought they were the laughingstock of the NFL. But now they've won 10 in a row. They've done excellent. I'll give Jake that credit that they have played excellent throughout the regular season after going 1-5. And it's just going to be too much for Houston. They've got Alex Smith. They've got Spencer Ware and Chadrick West that are doing really well. Travis Kelce and Jeremy Maclin. It's working well for them. They're doing the right things. I'm taking Kansas City over Houston. Houston's done decently well as well to come back, but it's not going to be enough. So I'm saying Kansas City moves on, and they're going to play New England. Let's finish out the AFC, and we'll move on from there. Next up, we have, after all of our scenarios, Pittsburgh taking on Denver in the AFC divisional round. I like Ben Roethlisberger, and now they're going to face Denver at this point. Denver's the number 1 seed. Peyton Manning came back in the game against the Chargers, last game of the year. And I thought maybe it would have been his last snap. We weren't quite sure what was going to happen with Peyton Manning. But he came back in, delivered what the Broncos needed. They needed a boost. And they got that boost that they needed pretty good by Peyton. He went out there and threw for touchdown after touchdown. He just did a great job coming back and revitalizing that Broncos offense. And I think they're one of the most talented teams in this whole AFC group. I'm saying Denver's going to beat Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's got a decent chance, but I'm saying Denver's going to come back and win this ball game and really take control of the playoffs. So, yeah, Denver will win the matchup against Pittsburgh. Then we have on the other side, Kansas City versus New England. I find that hilariously funny because both Jake and Mitch are Kansas City and New England fans, respectively. I'm actually going to go with Jake on this one. I'm saying Kansas City's going to beat New England. Even though Edelman might be back, their team might be back, I'm saying Kansas City's got the hotter hand. They're one of the most dangerous teams in the game right now. And their team's working really well together, molding really well, and combining for good points. I think they could be one of the most dangerous teams going in there. So I'm saying Kansas City pulls it out against New England. And New England, sorry fam, you're out in the divisional round. So that means in the AFC Championship, we have Denver taking on Kansas City. I'm going Denver. I know Jake will give me shit about it for my entire career here. But I think Denver has played the hot hand. The defense has played spectacularly well. And at the end of the day, they've gone out there and played to perfection. Defense has really helped them out when the offense hasn't been there 100%. And I think they're going to find a way against Kansas City and defy the odds and get to the Super Bowl. Let's go to the NFC side before we reveal the Super Bowl prediction. as I put in my phone charger. First off, we have Seattle and Minnesota. Two really good teams that I enjoy watching over the course of 2015. I do really like Minnesota, and I really wish I could pick them here, but I'm going Seattle. First off, for the fact that Seattle beat their ass earlier this year, their one meeting this year, that was incredibly embarrassing. And there's always games to come back in, but guys, this is Seattle we're talking about. You lose that bad, you don't have that much of a great chance the next time. So, I'm going Seattle on this one. Then we have Green Bay taking on Washington. I'm pulling off the big upset, the big guns right here. I'm taking Washington. Yes, you heard me say I'm taking Washington in this one. Green Bay has struggled immensely. I understand they played a decently put-together game against Minnesota, and they were in it for the most part up until the last play of the game, but they just can't run well. I mean, ever since 6-0 happened, now they're 4-6 in their last 10 games. This is not a playoff caliber team, in my opinion. They're barely in. And I know they're playing Washington, who has themselves not really been credited as a playoff team. But Kirk Cousins has played well. He's done great. He's good enough to get them to 9-7 in the NFC East title. I think they've got a good chance here. I'm taking Washington over Green Bay, which sets up these next two playoff scenarios. Carolina takes on Seattle. I do like Seattle. They could be very dangerous. But in my opinion, Carolina, 15-1, has played good enough to play continuous football and move on to the NFC Championship. I do like Seattle. I think they have a good enough chance to take over the reins and get into the NFC Championship. But in my honest opinion, I'm taking Carolina over Seattle. Then we have Arizona taking on Washington. Arizona, no doubt, is well put together. I understand they lost their game against Seattle today, but I'm taking Arizona any day of the week right here. It's just it's going to be too much for Washington. Not enough there for Washington to recover or to take cover for the fact that Arizona is going to be there. I just think Arizona's too well put together with Carson Palmer, David Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald. When they're running, when they're putting it together, they got all the pieces. They're one of the most lethal weapons in the game, so I'm taking Arizona. Which leads to the NFC Championship game being Carolina versus Arizona. I'm taking Carolina. At the end of that, maybe a couple games ago I would have said Arizona, but I'm taking Carolina for the simple fact that this team knows how to put it together at the right moments, at the right games, at the right time, and make it special. Enjoy the game that they're playing, and make it a team effort. And I think at the end of the day, Carolina will do that more than Arizona. That's why I'm putting them there. Cam Newton will throw probably a deep ball. Ted Ginn Jr. is going to be one of their most lethal weapons. And I think he needs to show up. And I think if he does, that whole group will win and go to the Super Bowl. So that leads me to say my Super Bowl prediction will be Denver versus Carolina. Two number one seeds. I know that's a little cop-out-ish. In my honest opinion, I think that's what's going to happen. And at the end of the day, your 2016 Super Bowl champions will be the Denver Broncos. I'm going to hear this for the rest of my life from Mitch and Jake. So if you guys are listening, shut up. Hear me out. Denver, when they're running the ball together, when they've got all their cohesive units together, is the strongest team in the NFL. Got Peyton throwing down the field. When he is accurate, he is on it. He is definitely one of the best QBs in the league. C.J. Anderson and Ronnie Hillman, we saw rush for almost 200 yards today. They did against San Diego. They did a great job, and when they're going off together, they're excellent. Emmanuel Sanders and Demaryius Thomas, two great receivers. Owen Daniels is putting it together in this season. They're all working together, and when those guys together force a good unit, they will rush through this competition. Carolina is good, and they got the really good defense, but it's two defensive teams, and it goes to show you that I think this is going to be one of the best games that we've seen in a long time. I'm taking Denver over Carolina for great defense and some really damn good offense at the right times. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, like it, comment what your Super Bowl predictions are and if you enjoyed my predictions video. And please subscribe to the channel. We are about 80% of the way to our goal to 1,000 subscribers. I hope you guys can join that bandwagon there and get us to 1,000. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.